Aaron Dykes here for TrueStreamMedia.com. I'm going to talk a little bit about this guy, Nicholas Murray Butler, and I'm going to read an excerpt from his Across the Busy Years. That is his personal account up to the year 1939. And it's important to note that he was president of Columbia University and president of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, and apparently urged on Andrew Carnegie to originally found that endowment, which is used for global government, and he's known for his internationalist points of view, as well as his membership in the elite Pilgrim Society, which is one of many Anglo-American meeting groups and secret society type confabs. And then here in his two-part memories here, he talks about some of the clubs he's involved in. And here he is here on his title page, Across the Busy Years, Recollections and Reflections. And way back towards the end of this, in his Companion and Conversations chapter, he talks about various groups he was involved in, including the Players, of which Mark Twain was a famous member. He talks about some people at Yale. He talks about the Gin Mill Club. And then he gets into Bohemian Grove. And since there's not quite enough known about Bohemian Grove and the Bohemian Club, I thought I would read this passage to add it to the record so people know what he has to say. There's other people who've mentioned it, but it's generally not talked about a whole lot. So this is published back in 1939-1940. Then comes the Bohemian Club of San Francisco, that truly marvelous club with more than half a century of fine tradition and distinguished performance in letters and in the arts. San Francisco owes much to the fact that from 1849 until the opening of the first transcontinental railroad, some 20 years later, it was so remote and so cut off from the rest of the country that it was not only under invitation but almost under compulsion to develop its own independent literary and artistic life. Therefore, there came to be about the Bay a group containing a number of brilliant men who, whatever their calling in life, found time and opportunity to have a real interest in for letters and the fine arts. They were drawn together in the Bohemian Club, the summer camp of which eventually grew to the magnificent Bohemian Grove on the Russian River, which is a place beyond compare in all this world. It's no exaggeration to say that not since ancient Greece has there ever been such a whole-souled and truly human devotion on the part of a large group drawn from every walk in life to all that is best in that life, including human relationships, letters, and the fine arts, as is to be found each midsummer at Bohemian Grove. It's the one place in the world where a man counts for nothing but what he really is. Its motto, "Weaving spiders come not here." When one arrives at the trees which mark the entrance to the grove, he is, figuratively speaking, stripped naked of all his honors, offices, possessions, and emoluments, and is allowed to enter simply as a personality, there to be weighed and measured in terms of personality and nothing more. I've seen men of the highest official position and men of great wealth treated with the greatest unconcern by the dwellers in the Bohemian Grove, simply because these men put on airs and endeavored to assume a superiority which they had no possible claim. The talk there by night and by day, and the music, vocal and instrumental, and the 1,001 happy happenings, and the 1,001 human happenings are unique and modern among men. But those who have not been present at the ceremony of the burial of care at the annual encampment in the Bohemian Grove have missed one of the most solemn and inspiring ceremonies of which I know. It's now done in accordance with the stately ritual, but during the Great War, different conditions prevailed. In 1918, when the war on the Western Front was at its highest, there were at the burial of care ceremony voices to represent France, England, and Belgium, Italy, and the United States. The vast grove of redwoods was in darkness, and as the strong light was turned upon the spokesmen for these nations, one after another they were seen standing in a slight elevation, clothed in white, each to recite a verse in the message which he had to deliver. From him who spoke for Belgium, I heard for the first time, with deepest emotion, the verses beginning, "In Flanders fields the poppies blow," which had only lately been written. Each annual encampment of the Bohemian Club reaches its climax and end with the high jinks, when the play of the year written by a member of the club is presented, accompanied by the music written by another member of the club. It is invariably a stirring and inspiring performance, and when on the following day we separate and go our several ways from that great home of the human spirit, we go, each one of us, with new strength and new inspiration because of our happy and fortunate experiences with the realities of life quite away from its dross, its too frequent vulgarity, and its lack of comprehension. In the Bohemian Grove, the camp to which I was so happy to belong was appropriately called the Land of Happiness. We had intimate friends and companions in every part of the grove, but especially perhaps in these camps called Lost Angels, Mandalay, and Wolf. These companionships and friendships have extended over many years and are precious indeed. And he's, of course, a big Anglo-American elitist. As I said, one of the key founders of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, one of its presidents, and really had a lot to do with bringing this global system to bear. So it's no surprise at all to hear him saying flowery and beautiful things about the Bohemian Grove. There's a lot of other information about it, naturally, about all its machinations and the fact that really there are weaving spiders there, planning policy and meeting in secret with a number of important players from industry and education, as well as government and beyond. So we'll keep an eye on those things, but I just thought I would add this passage from Nicholas Murray Butler in his 1893 to 1939 memoir, Across the Busy Years. This is the second volume. Signing off for TrueStreamMedia.com, I'm Aaron Dykes. We'll be back with more coming up soon.